And welcome once again to Investor's Edge. I'm Gary Kaltbaum, your host. Hey, thanks for being with us today. Glad you're here, ladies and gentlemen. Happy that you are listening. It is the 18th of March, 2026. Hope you're having a good day, because the things I'm going to be describing is probably going to harsh your buzz today. What can I tell you? It's not my fault. Very simply, this is serious talk on everything that affects you: the markets, the economy, your job, your industry, war, tariffs, stagflation, inflation, recession, and whatever else. And if you do not get this radio show in your city, we'll post it at GaryK.com. We'll also post it on our X feed, and if you don't follow us on X, you should. Just go there, put our name in. And if you'd like to email us, just be nice and respectful. We can disagree 1,000%, but respectful. Nothing wrong with that, right? I've always wondered how people argue and get mad and mad and mad. If I'm to have an opinion on something, I've got to respect your opinion. Anyway. And we'll have some things to say today. Well, Dow is down 768, S&P 91, NASDAQ 327, NASDAQ 100 355. I'm not sure the Trump lovers are going to be happy with what I have to say, but I have to echo my father. My father always said, whatever happens, whoever's running the country gets the credit or gets the opposite. That's all. Today, a big inflation number came out. Now, it's only one number, but it was very high. Much higher than expected. It's the producer price numbers. And I'm going to do this for you. Producer price index. What is it? Measures the average change over time in selling prices received by domestic producers for their output. It measures inflationary pressures. It came in very hot. So now we have a trifecta. GDP was just revised to 0.7%. Less than 1. The job market sucks. The last year's job market is the worst in years. And now inflation picking up. Oh, and by the way, this inflation number is before the war and oil prices. Under President Donald Trump. While he was out again today saying we are in a golden age of economy and economics, we say it's the opposite. We warned you months and months and months ago, and nobody believed us that we could have an outcome that's not so good. And let me be specific and to the point. For all you conservatives out there, conservative Republicans, I loathed that Kamala Harris, I have it still on my wall here. Some of her proposals was to take long-term capital gains up to 44%, possibly unrealized capital gains, maybe a wealth tax. Let the Trump tax cuts expire. I think it was Reagan who once said, what was his line? If it moves, tax it. Well, that was Kamala Harris. So in comes Trump, the breath of fresh air. We are going to extend the tax cuts, and we got a few more up our sleeve. Remember that, right? What is it? No tax on tips, amongst some other things. But then what happened? What happened? Tariffs. Tariffs are just raising taxes. And as I have told you, raising taxes is bad for the economy. And the more you raise taxes, the worse it is for the economy. And the president has been out there giving out the numbers that they have collected and also BSing about who pays for them, but we all know who pays for them. He's had admitted a few times, and then he had to lie again. Tariffs. And then the word uncertainty. When you change your stance 300 times on tax policy, well, there you have it. We now have potential. I'm an optimist, so I'll say potential. Stagflation. That's a stagnant economy and still have inflation. Where was the president wrong again today? He was yelling, Jay Powell needs to lower interest rates. Jay Powell kept interest rates the same today. They had their meeting. Well, Jay Powell is at 3.5%, the 10-year is at 4.26%, and the 30-year is 4.88%. What have we told you about too much easy money? It creates more inflation. We nailed it for you what Jay Powell did when he printed it to up to $9 trillion and then rigged the whole frickin' bond market, distorting the whole housing market. So the president's wrong on that. So we're just letting you know there is an opportunity for stagflation now. At least I think we're near there. And these numbers are before the war. And I think the president needs to come to a realization. If I had his ear, I would be in his ear right now and say to him, you know, Mr. President, war is also economic. War is also economic. And now oil prices are at $97. They're up 50%. I think average at the pump was $3.88 yesterday, up from $2.90. You know what that is? A sharp stick in the eye to the consumer. We're right. They're wrong. The goal should be lower taxes, less regulations, get the hell out of the way. But as you know, they are injecting themselves into everything, which is also a little bit of a problem. That said, outcome's everything. Outcome. And right now, the outcome is not very good. Job market is not good at all. GDP, not good. And now inflation picking up? What? And by the way, before the war. This inflation number is before the war. So we'll keep our fingers crossed. Things better. But the market really reflected it today. We've had that S&P since last April. We're getting close to knocking that bad boy out. It's right on the bubble now. Hit it a couple of times and bounced. Not so sure it's going to bounce this time. We'll see. Tomorrow will be another day. But I just want to let you know, I'm just sticking with my father's mantra. Whoever's the president. And by the way, they were out blaming Biden today. What? And as you know, we think Biden sucked. Hey, up next, a little bit more on these markets, what's sticking out, and why government really dislikes us. This is the one and only Investor's Edge. And welcome once again to Investor's Edge. Do not forget, I don't give a hoot who's the president. I have no allegiance except a good, sound policy. That's all I'm interested in. We don't see R, we don't see D. And people actually get mad at that. You got to have a side. No, my side is with the American people, and they are all tiresome. By the way, in the last year, $2.8 trillion in deficit. What happened to Doge? Huh? What happened to Doge? My recommendation to the president right now would be get that war done. Yesterday. I still don't understand how they told us months ago they knocked out, they used the word obliterated their nuclear. And now they're saying, oh, they were a couple of weeks away. Okay. We know they lie. Fine. Fast forward to today. If I had his ear, Mr. President, war is also economic. You say you have destroyed everything there. You've taken them out. Take the big win and get the hell out of there. Let them open up the straits again. The problem will be, I can tell you this, oil prices aren't going back to where they came from. They'll go about halfway back. Do you know why? There will be a premium to oil prices based on uncertainty. Just letting you know. That would be my message to him. And unfortunately, I don't think any of his advisors are giving him any good ideas. Or he'd be out of there by now. Or maybe he's not listening. I don't know. Anyway, crappy day. Few other things of note. We told you recently that the gold miners, once it broke the 50, it was over. Silver is in a void also for right now. Our thought process of that climactic move. And gold, though, was still hanging in there. Well, gold broke the 50-day moving average today on volume. Gold miners and silver worsened. They are avoids now. We're not telling you to sell, buy, short, cover. If you own them long-term, God bless you. We're just letting you know we don't believe there should be any new commitments to gold and silver right now. For that matter, a lot. I look at the platinum, the palladium, and some of that other stuff that ends in EM, they're avoids. They've all broken down below moving averages, below resistance, and they're just plain old avoids now. So that happened. What else am I saying? I have to mention, I did yesterday, but I have to mention again today. Back in, I believe it was September, when all those no sales stuff skyrocketed and a bunch of jackasses were touting you on them. I remember one person calling a no sales nuclear company a growth stock. Anyway, back then we just warned you, and we have this simple line that's been lasting years for us, and that is, if nothing changes and they continue to have no sales, eventually they're going to go back to where they came from. Well, yesterday we mentioned again how bad they are, where some are down 50, 60, 70%. Our poster child was OKLO. It's gone from 194 to 56 and change. Well, we're just letting you know they worsened again today. And I mean, a lot of these things are now getting ripped apart, where I'm seeing some things now. Here's one that was $11.50. It is now $3. We hope you listened. We hated the fact they were touting you on this crap. By the way, I'm just looking at a couple right now that I haven't looked at yet. Here's one, Lithium Americas. It's down 65%. 65! And remember the rare earth stuff? The rare earth, gotta own that. How about what's $11.30 down to $3.50? That's one I'm looking at right now. And then there's the drones. You know what I'm talking about. So just letting you know, I was just noticing them today. Beat red, all of them down. And then I'm also noticing a bunch of them are now at $2 and $3 that were $10, $15. And I'm noticing some at $14 that were at $40. They're all going back to where they came from. And the next time it occurs, we'll warn you again. But right now, they are gone bye-bye. And every now and then, we get asked, well, what do you think? What do you stay away? How about this one? 57 down to 12. New Scale Power develops small nuclear modular reactor technology. 57 down to 12. What is that, about 75%? And it still has a $3.6 billion market cap at $12 with very little sales and lose a ton of money. So we weren't going to bring this up today, but as I was perusing my screens, I just noticed a lot of them are now single digits. They weren't used to be single digits. Again, we hope you listen. By the way, you know what else? The Trump media that we warned you about. And again, because very little in sales, it just broke 10 today. $9.13. That sucker was 60. That is not a rib on him. We're just talking about companies got hardly any sales. You all got to be careful with your money. By the way, that is a $2.5 billion market cap still. Wow. Didn't even realize that. I saw that in the side of my eye. So, gold, silver avoids. I got another area now to avoid. Drugs. First off, drugs are bad for you. But they're breaking down AbbVie, Eli Lilly, Glaxo, Abbott, AstraZeneca, even Merck that's been strong in the Dow looks like it's breaking the 50-day today. We would avoid the drugs. And up next, what else in healthcare seems to be an issue? I'm Gary. This is the one and only Investor's Edge. And welcome once again to Investor's Edge. So we've already been on the void with all the medical products, research, and the like. I mean, just a big avoid. Throw in the drugs now. Managed care. That's medical. Add some biotech. Go look at the IBB or the BBH. They look like big tops in place. So just letting you know, the whole healthcare complex, yeah. Go look at the XLV also. Total big top. XLV. That would be the healthcare. Another area to avoid. You know what that means. We're running out of areas to avoid. That means we got to be watching things carefully from here. What's still strong is another good day until the end of the day. The semis had a great relative bid today. The optical, storage, data, memory was having a good day. But when the market had that last leg down today, they came in too. But SanDisk was up 25, LITE up 50. So that was still good. By the way, Micron reported in the aftermarket, it's down $2. That's pretty darn good after the move it's had. I haven't looked at their numbers. I said earlier, boy, our government continues to show us they hate us. Have you ever wondered why our tax code is so complicated, convoluted, and a pain in the rear? Have you ever just taken a step back and just said to yourself and asked the question, why don't they just make it, here's your tax rate, here's the 3 things you can write off, and that's it. Home, interest, charity, those are 2 good write-offs. And retirement accounts, good write-offs. And that's it. No, we gotta complicate everything. How many pages in the tax code? 70,000 pages. 2,600 pages of statutory law to over 70,000 pages when including IRS regulations, rulings, and case law. They hate us. Have you ever got one of those things from Social Security? Try understanding that. And by the way, don't you dare add up how much you've put into Social Security and then say to yourself, what if I just got 5% on my money since day one? Where would I be right now if it wasn't in Social Security? Why do I bring this up? Because as you know, I went on Medicare. And if you thought the tax code was complicated, try reading the crap they sent to you on Medicare. I got a thing today that says your Medicare Part D explanation of benefits. I will tell you, Stephen Hawking and Albert Einstein can't figure some of this crap out. It's amazing. And I got bills and all kinds of, I don't know what you call it. It's a nightmare. They really do hate us. You have to hate the people to do what they're doing. And as you know, they've taken us to $39 trillion of debt. They're corrupt with their insider trading. They're becoming multimillionaires through a lot of weird crap in D.C. I'm just letting you know, I looked at this whole Medicare thing. That's government run. And I'm a pretty smart guy. I really am a pretty smart guy. I don't know what the hell this thing says. And then it says, learn more. Medicare made the rules about which types of payments count towards out-of-pocket costs and total drug costs. For more details, see... Really? They really do hate us. $2.8 trillion of debt in the last year under Trump. The guy who said, "No, we're not going to do that." Nah, not at all. Anyway, go look up the word stagflation. The numbers coming in right now pretty much define it. But these numbers could be fleeting. They could be one-offs. I don't think the job market is one-offs. 6 months out of the last year, we lost jobs. Do not believe when he says we're the hottest country in the world. That's a BS. Golden age, that's BS. We make our own golden age, by the way. They all think too highly of themselves. And let's hope they get it right. By the way, Micron's down $15 now. That's not going to be a big help. But by the way, Five Below. Have you ever been in one of those stores? I've never. You know what I have to do? Go into one of their stores. Stock's up $14 in the aftermarket, near all-time highs. The stock has gone from, looking at the monthly, came public in 2012 at $26. It's now $200. They must be doing something right. 1,771 targeted discount retail stores in 44 states. Opened 227 new stores in 25. I'm going to have to check that out. In a sea of retail stocks in bear markets, Five Below and Ross stores stand out big time. We're talking stocks, which usually means good things. Stand out big time. I'm going to have to check this Five Below out. You know what else? Have you ever heard of this place called El Pollo Loco Holdings? I guess that's El Pollo Tropical Restaurants. That sucker just broke out on big volume, up for 4 days in a row. I got to see what's going on there. It's down big from 2014, but much better now. I don't think I've ever been to one. El Pollo. Pollo in Spanish is chicken, right? I think. Don't quote me on that. I'm pretty sure, though. Anyway, what else? Crypto. So there's been a nascent, notice the big word, bounce/rally in the crypto. I have to tell you, it may already be over. And do you know where it's over at? Right near the declining 50-day moving average, which keeps it in vicious bear market territory. So the prediction of 1.5 million by 2030, we may have to put that off. Do you know we have to go up 40% just to get 100,000 now? I think we're at 70,000, right? 30, more than 40% just to get to 100,000, let alone 1.5 million. I loathe those people who make those predictions. They're such BS. They're liars. How's that? They're liars. They're BS artists. They're trying to talk their book and talk you into getting some. Anyway, not a good look today for the crypto. And do not forget what I told you. 32,000 coins were tried, and there's still a bunch trading that nobody even talks about. And while Bitcoin's down, 40 some odd percent from the highs, there are a bunch of others down 75 and 80. Do not forget that. And every time I see somebody smiling on TV, we're fine. Yeah, we know it's down 45%, but that happens all the time. Sure. I just love them. What else? I only have now 7 of the 30 Dow stocks with bullish trends. And 2 of them look like they're topping, and that is Verizon and Walmart. Just letting you know. Up next, this, that, and the other thing. This is the one only Investor's Edge. Da-na-na. Oh yeah, we're getting close to rush. Strength in the market. Defense stocks still for obvious reasons. Oils for obvious reasons. The fertilizers, not all, for obvious reasons. And in case you don't know, there's a bottleneck for them also at the Straits of Hormuz. There's some smattering of other areas. Of course, strength in still the optical, data, storage, memory stuff, and still a bunch of semiconductors. But after that, I have to tell you, my little proprietary count of how many stocks are in good versus bad shape, we are getting towards a very low number. I think we're at like 35%, and that is not good numbers. Just letting you know. And also, when your best stocks are oils and defense, I'm not so sure that's good news either. Again, for obvious reasons. Software stocks. We had said to you, they're acting better, but they were so stretched, extended to the downside, it may just be a bearish market bounce / rally. Well, so far that's all it is. One look at the IGV starting to roll over right near the declining 50-day moving average, and all important Microsoft starting to roll over again. And it was trying, but it ain't working now. So software, not so great. Mega caps, that stuff, all pretty much yuck. You know what the best name is in there? Dell. But guess what happened with Dell? It broke above a little range and tucked its head in like a frightened turtle. Nvidia is just still in that range. But Tesla, Siemens, SAP, Qualcomm, Oracle, Meta, Microsoft. Google's been trying to do better, but nah. Salesforce.com, Booking Holdings, Apple, Adobe, Amazon, AMD, Broadcom, all look crappy. Netflix, one of them, is better. Why? Because they were buying somebody and now they're not. So that got a nice little boost. The first move up is now sitting. We'll see what happens in the weeks ahead to see if it decides to take another move up. I have no clue if it does that or not. I wish I had better things to tell you. I love coming out here and telling you about the leadership. And again, you still have it in the areas mentioned. They're not the greatest areas. Because if oils are up, cruise lines are down. Hotels are down. Casinos are down. Airlines are down. By the way, speaking of your government hating you, you see what the hell's happening in the airports? They really hate us. But you know what they all know? They'll still be elected. Imagine, it's 2026, and they cannot get TSA people paid. So I heard 350 have just quit, and a bunch of them now aren't even showing up. And there's 3 and 4 hour lines at some of these airports. They really do hate us. It should be the number one story. There's talk that maybe they have to shut an airport or two. One of the smaller airports. Boy, oh boy. What do they call them? Town halls? We should all go to all the town halls that they have towards the election, and we should all give them a nice little piece of the mind. Respectfully. They hate us. And the lying to us on a daily basis is wow. 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 Just look at the Epstein crap. Redacted. They hate us. They hover over us. Isn't it tiresome? What else? Economically sensitive stocks, nah, not good. Financials we're trying today, not good. And just avoids. And I noticed MasterCard and Visa getting busted today. MasterCard right at new yearly lows. Visa is at new yearly lows. Amazing. Those are two very important stocks, which leads me to look at Capital One Financial, same, and American Express under pressure too. Not so sure it's good news when financials are doing what they're doing. So kids, it's bumpy. It's bumpy. And if in fact we do have a bout of stagflation for a while, market's going to go lower. Do you know why? Profits go south to a certain extent, which means valuations go up and then they come down. So stay tuned. Pay attention. Do not pay attention to the perma bulls. Just in case. That all said, you have a good day. Good evening. Drive carefully when you get home. Do like we do. It's simple. Make sure you hug your family and you hug your children. They will feel better. You will feel better. I promise. Stay well. Be well. Always thanks for joining us. Good night all. Bye-bye.